Beyond the Ring, a podcast that covers all things in the stock show industry from the informative to the insane, starring Ryan Rash
Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard.
and Dale Hummel. Now on with the show.
Welcome to the Beyond the Ring podcast, starring the gay solo again this week. Sorry that you people just only get me. I know that y'all love Dale the most, but he is on Death Wish Airlines, headed to Namibia or something. I don't know. But anyway, he sent me and Clifton a picture of his seat in his airplane, and we have not heard from him since then. I personally think he probably crashed. But we now know why his airline ticket to Africa was so cheap after viewing said airline situation. But it is what it is. I'm going to be honest with you. If he survived Death Wish Airlines, I don't know how much longer he's going to survive. So I'm probably going to need to start auditioning new people to be on this podcast with me, because he's going to be in Africa for 2 weeks. And because he's so cheap, he has decided that they're going to sleep basically on top of a truck that he rented. And hot mess, because the wild animals obviously cannot get to him or Chase, who y'all pray for Chase during all this, on top of the truck, because hotels and campsites and all that's way too expensive. So he didn't do any of that. So they're going to be in Africa with no guide, no nothing, just like a map. He might have rented a satellite phone. It was still up in the air, because that was like $30 a day. And we all know Dale is cheap. So I don't know, but go with God, Dale and Chase, in the Africa of it all. But he's not here. So I am your single host for this week. I just got back from the Bahamas and celebrated a birthday and all the things. And that was very, very fun. I could do a whole podcast about my Bahamas vacation, but we would probably have to have a disclaimer at the beginning, middle, and end, and Dale would probably have a heart attack and go into cardiac arrest. So we're not going to do that. I will just say that I had a good time, and the Bahamas will probably never be the same. Neither will Julius the dolphin. Those people that have my Snapchat, they know about Julius. But anyhow, in terms of current events, it will not be as long as normal. Some of you people will be very thankful for that, because Dale is not here to rant and rave about China or any of his other paranoid schizophrenic things. I don't know a lot because I've been gone, but Trump had a 100,000 people rally in New Jersey this past weekend, which New Jersey, New Hampshire, New York, all the states around it, very, 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 very Democrat heavy. So that was very interesting. And I thought it was even more interesting that CNN and MSNBC were not disputing the fact that there was 100,000 people there. They are very concerned about a new New York Times poll that came out that was taken while Stormy Daniels was testifying in his hush money trial, and he's leading by a lot in 5 of the 6 swing states. Like, he's at 49% in several of them. Like, he's leading in Nevada by 10, I think, Georgia by 9. Only one of them of these 5 swing states was close, and I want to say that was Pennsylvania. I don't remember, but he was getting beat by Biden in Wisconsin by 2. But they also said that the last 3 polls that had come out before this, he was leading in Wisconsin. So very interesting. Yesterday, Mr. Cohen testified in the hush money trial, and they won't let TVs in the trial, but there are people that are giving like minute-to-minute reporting to the other people that are outside, and it's on Fox News and all the other things. And I guess he was a hot mess. And basically, unless something drastically different happens today when he starts up again, they don't think that there's any way that the judge can even send this case to the jury, even though the judges really hate Trump, because the defense has not proven that there is a crime or a case in any shape, form, or fashion. But I don't believe that. We shall see. One of the other newsworthy topics is that I guess Jerry Seinfeld was given a commencement speech at some college. I can't remember which one. Don't know if I know, but all these graduates got up and left to protest the war in Israel and all that. It was a hot-ass mess. There is a little drama in the Trump family because Barron Trump, who is now 18 and about to graduate high school, he got elected to be a delegate for Florida for the Republican National Convention, and this was huge news. And then the next day they put out a statement that Barron was not declined graciously because he has some prior commitment, but we don't know what that commitment is. So I think that Melania said, hell no, you're not doing this. But who knows? So that is kind of all the news that I have for you on the current events. This will be the shortest current event episode in the history of the Beyond the Ring podcast, but it is what it is. I will share with you the top 10 intermediate hog BTRJLA current winners right now. And in first is Jaylee Hoffman from California. Second is Santos Olivares. I am so sorry, Santos, of Arizona, because I know I messed up that name. Third is Avery Layton of Ohio. Fourth is Maddie Coates of Arizona. Fifth is Colt Mello of California. Next is Kelly Longman of California, followed by Adele Simpson of Arizona. Luke Mello of California. Ninth is Colby Florence of Texas. And rounding out the current top 10 in the intermediate hog division is Clara Kowalski of Oregon. So congratulations to them. I am not the official water boy. We would like to thank ShowFresh H2O for being the sponsor of this podcast. And as Dale has said so many times, hydration is important, and ShowFresh H2O is your friend, and it helps all the hydration things. And you can purchase ShowFresh H2O on swampfox.com or at your local feed store. So thank you, ShowFresh H2O. I know I did not do you justice like Dale does, but I'm doing the best I can here. He's dying in Africa. For the main topic, I am going to discuss what not to wear in terms of show clothes. This is probably going to be very controversial, but it's okay because I've got the most hate mail from the last episode about coaching, and whatever. I'm not responding to most of you people because I don't agree with you. But anyway, what not to wear. And I'm going to talk about things that I don't think you should wear, but also I'm going to touch on things that many other judges we have brought up, talked, discussed amongst ourselves that we don't think are great looks in the show ring. So if Dale was here, he would tell you that you need to wear a white shirt and a black vest and starch jeans and boots. And that's the only thing you could wear because that's what the man wears every single day of his life. But we're going to go into a little more detail than that. And I will start with footwear. We all know that I cannot stand white sole shoes in the show ring. It bothers me. It is a pet peeve of mine. I think it's distracting. I hate it. There is a kind of a new trend in all species, which is very, very bothersome to me, about tennis shoes. Like, y'all wear tennis shoes in the show ring. Not just white sole shoes. We're talking about tennis shoes now. Just don't. Don't do it. It's a terrible idea. I can't explain to you all of the reasons why this is a terrible idea, but it really, really is bad. I don't mind leather shoes, all that stuff. I prefer boots, but I'm not going to win that battle with the large majority of you. But no tennis shoes, no white sole shoes. Yeah, it's not a cute look, nor is it professional looking. So get you some leather shoes, get boots. And also on this topic, in general, when you're picking out what to wear at said show on that day, a good thing to do is to walk to the ring and see what the man or lady that is judging the show has on. If they have on boots, probably want to put on some boots. If they have a long sleeve shirt, probably want to find a long sleeve shirt. Because they are wearing what they think is appropriate to be in a ring, so you might want to mimic what they have on. That's just a general tip. There is a lot of people, especially if you're showing cattle, that if you're not wearing boots and you're in showmanship, you're done. You're toast. You're out. I am not that harsh. Leather shoes, whatever, it's fine. I'm probably going to use the best showman, but if it's very, very close and one has boots on and the other doesn't, that's probably going to swing my vote to the person that's in boots. But there are people, and not just a few, that if you're not wearing boots, you're not going to be the winner in showmanship, especially in cattle showmanship. And I would also just like to put out there in the world, boots is a classy look, especially when you're showing animals. It's a very, very good look. You might want to think about it, embrace it, use it, do it. Jeans. So this is, I don't understand many of this, and this is going to probably be me a lot, but I've talked to several other judges too. Number one, first off, you kids that roll up the cuffs, the bottoms of your jeans, nobody likes that. Nobody thinks it's cute. Just either get your jeans hemmed or buy ones that are the appropriate length. I don't know. Nobody thinks that rolling up the bottoms of your jeans is a cute look in the show ring. I don't care what you do outside the show ring. I mean, fine. I still don't think it's a cute look, but in the show ring, bad idea. Girls, I don't know how to explain this to you, but at every show I judge, every show, there is going to be one or several of you girls that want to wear the wide, flare-legged jeans to show in. I get that they're cute. I understand it. But this is what happens every single time. The animal that you are showing steps on the bell-bottom, wide, flare-legged jeans, and you trip, the animal trips, and it's a hot-ass mess. So, don't. Let's just not. Don't do it. Don't do it. It is not going to work out. I'm telling you, I have seen maybe this happen 1,000 times, and maybe 1% of the girls that have shown to me in the bell-bottom, wide-legged, flared jeans have not tripped on themselves or the animal tripped on them. So, the odds are stacked against you. So let's not do it. Just don't. Other than that, in terms of jeans, I don't care what kind of jeans you wear, other than just be clean. A lot of people like black jeans. I don't mind black jeans. I think it's a nice look, but not gonna. I had to fight the girls that showed for me on that for years and years and years, so I'm not gonna get into that. But I think it's a nice look. I don't care what jeans they are, as long as the bottoms aren't rolled up and they are not bell bottoms. Just fit nice, clean, you're good to go. I get asked a lot of times about cowboy hats. I think I've said this on the podcast before. I do not mind cowboy hats on girls, boys, whatever. I do not. It is fine with me. The thing that I am going to caution everybody on is there are a certain section of the population that look good in a cowboy hat. And then there's an equally large or larger section of the population that does not look good in a cowboy hat. If you're in the don't look good in a cowboy hat club, don't wear it just because you want to. It's a bad look, and I know that's going to offend some people, but no. If you are going to wear a cowboy hat, please make sure that it is shaped correctly and all the things, because there's nothing worse than seeing a kid in a show ring with an unshaped or ill-shaped cowboy hat, because then you really look super, super dumb. Like there's no reason for you to be out there. So that is my stance on cowboy hats. As far as shirts, blouses, all these other things, there's lots of things to discuss here. I'm going to say that I'm going to be in the minority on a lot of this, because obviously I have a very unique personal sense of style. So I don't mind a lot of things that kids wear to be unique, be individual, all the whatever stuff. But I am telling you that a lot of judges would not be as kind or as free thinking, I guess is a good word, as I am in this. So, rule of thumb, if you're a boy, button down shirt with a collar. As far as color, style, print, whatever, I think it is beneficial for any kid, male or female, to wear something that distinguishes them from the masses. So I'm all for paisleys, prints, whatever, loud colors, all the stuff. Some people would say that's distracting, especially on a boy. I don't believe that is. But again, my opinion versus the masses, not as so much. But I don't think you can go wrong if you're a guy in a button-down collared shirt of any color, any print, etc. Ladies, this is going to get me in a lot of trouble, but I'm going to tell you anyway. The whole look of I'm going to wear the solid color sweater is so tired. I have seen the solid color sweater on all you girls in every color of the rainbow 9,000 times over. Y'all all look the same. And it's a professional look. I'm not going to say it's not professional. I'm all the things, but it's really, really tired. And I actually, my little close circle of friends, I talked about this before Texas Major Show season with them, and they were like, yeah, I don't think so, whatever. And then the whole Texas Major Show season, all they did was comment on, oh my God, every single girl out here in this ring has on a solid color sweater. I'm like, exactly my point. So I would find something, because girls, y'all have so many more options than boys, way more. You can wear anything that you want to, basically, in terms of again, button-down shirt, blouse, print, all the things. You don't have to wear the solid color sweater nonsense. You don't have to. You can venture out. That would be my advice. The girls that wear the long, flowy overlays, I guess is the best way to call them, in the show ring, I don't hate it. I don't mind it. But a lot of people despise it. I'm telling you, more than not, despise it. I do think it can be a little distracting at times, but I would just advise against it, because I know a lot of people really, really do not like that look in the show ring. Again, me, I'm okay with it, but most people, not so much. Another hot topic is the blazer situation. And this goes for boys and girls, whatever. I'm going to say it's a no. And I'm going to tell you that I am being very kind here because everybody else that I talk to that sees them hates them. I'm going to say it's no, and if Dale was here, he would roll over and die because I think he made Tara wear a blazer her whole show career, pretty much. But especially you girls with the and y'all know I love bling and glitter and the whole thing. Those sparkly blazers that are in every single color imaginable. I've seen them at every show, whatever. It's a hard no. Just don't. Don't do it. It's a bad idea. I get it. On one hand, there is no doubt we're going to see you. On the other hand, it's not going to be something that is looked upon fondly. So the whole blazer situation, I would avoid it entirely. And a lot of these things that I'm telling you or talking about, yes, some of them are my opinion, but again, I talked to a whole lot of judges. But more importantly, and we've gone into detail on this, you don't want to give any room or any ammunition for any judge to have a negative connotation of you at all. And what you wear is a lot of that. And so when I'm giving this advice, I'm just doing it to caution you, advise you, whatever, so you can put forth your best impression to every single judge. And a lot of people are going to think way more negatively of unique style, etc., than I do. So I'm just erring you on the side of caution in all the things. So and I think I've discussed this on here before too, the show teams. And I know this is kind of a Southern thing. It's not so much whatever, but the show teams that everybody on the show team wears the exact same shirt. So here's the thing. I like the, enthusiasm. I like the team spirit, all the stuff that I get. My issue is, what if the first person on the show team doesn't have a great animal? And that leaves a bad impression on the judge. And then you come in the same shirt and you're immediately identified with that show team and well, that first animal sucked. So negative connotations, stuff like that, I would avoid it. And that's kind of why I'm saying don't wear something that anybody else might have on because number one, you want to be identified uniquely as you. And number two, you also don't want to be put in a situation where you might be identified with somebody else that has inferior animals. So, there's that. So the whole show team thing, I don't get it. I don't understand it. I would advise against it. The kids that wear the exact same shirt every single time in the ring, if that's your lucky shirt and whatever, and that's what you want to do, fine. I would say no. I'm not saying that I haven't worn a shirt to show in multiple times, but it wasn't in the same couple of months, all this other stuff, especially if you're going to show a lot, unless this is some lucky charm of yours that you desperately have to ensure your success. Switch it up, because it seems like to me that there is a trend are a set of people that think if you show in the exact same shirt the whole time, that judges will identify you with that shirt. I think that is trying entirely too hard. If you want to be known and recognized and all this stuff, you'll do it, and it has nothing to do with what shirt you're wearing for the 5,000th time. Again, just my opinion. Also, while we're on things, what not to wear, etc., I think and this is primarily a cattle thing, but I think the leather tooled harnesses that have your name on it, I think that's very cool. I know a lot of people that give those as gifts to their kids, their grandkids, all this other stuff. I think that is very cool. All for it. Just word of caution, there are some shows that if your name is on it or you have your brand on it or something that can identify you, there's a lot of shows that have rules against that. And they'll either make you put tape on it or take it off or whatever. I think they're very cool. I think they're very unique, but just read the rules for the show and make sure that you're not violating that, because I've seen that happen a lot of times when they've got the fancy show harness on and they have to change because that might signal to the judge that they're with XYZ cattle company, or that is, John Smith, because it's on his harness. So I think they're cool. I like them, but there are some shows that have problems with them. If you are showing hogs, goats, or lambs, don't wear a harness. Don't. Put the number on your back with the safety pin, whatever. Don't wear a harness. It looks dumb. I can't explain why it looks dumb, but it looks very dumb if you're showing a hog, a sheep, or a goat in a harness. It looks way, way dumb. It's a terrible idea. Again, don't do it. The harnesses are only for cattle shows. That's just the way it is. I will not deviate from that whatsoever at all on that point. Girls, this is important. And this isn't wearing things, but this is just like how you present yourself in the show. Pull the hair back from your face. Don't just, I'm not saying you have to have it you can wear your hair down, but don't have it in your face. And the only reason that I'm saying this is because when the hair is in your face, you're going to take your hand and brush it back, put it behind your ear, all this other stuff. And it is a distraction from you focusing on your animal. So at least get the hair out of your face so you don't have to worry about moving it, adjusting it, all the things while you're showing the animal, so you can focus all your attention on showing said animal. So we will move in to the question and answer portion of this, and I am not prepared as usual. I'm very bad at being prepared. But I would like to thank Basic Animal Health for being the sponsor of the question and answer portion of the Beyond the Ring podcast. Basic Animal Health offers a full line of natural support for your livestock. Basic Animal Health's product, Show Focus, is an all-natural calming and focus supplement formulated to help your animal remain calm and focused while looking alert and staying sharp in the show ring. Show Focus also offers added responsiveness to handlers' cues while encouraging natural movement and an athletic performance. Show Focus will help you get your cattle, pigs, sheep, or goats to the show the way you want them to by allowing them to focus on you and still look sharp. Basic Animal Health products can be purchased online at www.basicanimalhealth.com. So thank you to Basic Animal Health and the Leonard family for being the question and answer sponsor for this week. Question and answers. I don't ever do these, so I had to ask my little close circle of people some because Dale is the one that looks all these up. One of them they asked, in the year 2040, what do livestock shows look like? Do they exist? I mean, that's not that far in the future, but it is a little far in the future. Of course, I hope they exist. I hope they're still here. I hope they're still thriving, etc. Do I think they'll look different? Of course, they're going to look different. And I've talked about this with Dale. I don't know if we've talked about it on the podcast, but I think it is something like I brought it up to Dale about being a topic, but y'all know that he is obsessed with Chat GPT or whatever the hell that artificial intelligence app is. I think at some point in the far future, near future, I don't know, there might be an artificial intelligence portion brought into stock shows. I don't know how, I don't know why, but I think it is a very, very big possibility that is something that could change the focus and future of stock shows. And Dale is obsessed with that app. Everything that he does is through Chat GPT now. So, but other than that, in 2040 or in the future, I think that obviously we will go through a lot of trends between now and then and all the species. But ultimately, I think as we have, the history has shown us that the animals will only get to be better and continue to improve. And so, yeah, 2040, here we are. We'll see. I hope I'm around then. I hope I'm not still doing the podcast with Dale in 2040 because I would have probably murdered him multiple times. But, there is that. Looking to see what the next question is. Oh, yeah. If you had kids of your own, what would your approach be to getting them started? I still say the most intelligent decision I have ever made in my life is not having children of my own for obvious reasons, because the curse ends with me, basically. But if I did have children, what would be my approach to getting them started? Because I showed every species, I would want my kids to show every species. And my approach would have been right now, like, I'm going to use the mini Hereford trend as an example. I used to make fun of mini Herefords. I'm not going to lie, when they first started. I think it is a very beneficial program for young kids to start showing. And the reason that I say that is because in the mini Hereford world, the kid can have a handler out there with them. So it is the deal where the young child is showing, but there is a hands-on person right there explaining to them what they need to do, how they need to do it, all this other stuff. And so it's a hands-on learning tool. And some of the very best 8 and 9-year-old cattle showmen out there in the world started to learn how to show through the mini Hereford thing. So that would be, if I had a kid on showing cattle, that's what I would do, because most shows do not let adult handlers help small children. And I don't think they should. If you're going to go out there and show a real size animal, I don't care if you're 3 or 30, you need to do it by yourself, unless it's Pee-wee showmanship. Okay, I get that. Otherwise, that's why I think the mini Hereford thing is very beneficial. I would have my kids, if I had kids, the thing that I would do the most is at every single national show, whether it be Kansas City, Denver, Louisville, Arizona National, etc., I would have them on at least one very high caliber animal in every species, because it's not just for them to be competitive at the show, which is obviously first and foremost, but it would also be for every judge that is standing around ringside, watching online, etc., to see my kid with a badass animal. That would be my approach. One of the reasons I didn't have kids is I was terrified that they would hate showing and I would probably beat them severely. So that's kind of why I didn't do it. And again, the curse ends with me. But if I had them, those would be some things that I would advise to do. Finally, the last question and answer is, what is the worst issue at a show for a judge, showman, crew member, fitter, etc.? And I think this is a good question. The worst issue for a judge, at least in my opinion, is when the mic doesn't work or it's scratchy, faulty. You can't hear the judge. You can't understand the things because, like I have said on here many, many, many times, judging is just an opinion. It doesn't make that judge's opinion right or wrong, but it makes it official on that day. And the only thing that judge has as a tool or to defend themselves is what they say on the microphone on why they placed the animals the way they did. And when the mic doesn't work or the audience can't hear you or it cuts in and out, it is very, very disheartening and it gets you very, very frustrated. And I know that is with all judges because they want you to hear why they did the things. And so I think the worst issue at any show is if you have a bad mic for a judge. As a showman, I think probably number one, the worst issue as a showman is if you're first in the ring and don't know where the hell you're going because you look like an idiot. That's why we have said on here umpteen million times, go watch class beforehand. But besides that, I think the other worst issue for a showman is when you don't know the ring and the large portion of stock show arenas, they're not completely level. And so there are holes and hills and all this other stuff. And I was just at a show a couple of weekends ago, and there was a gigantic hole in every single kid. It seemed like every class, they wanted to lead their animal's front feet right into that hole. And I would have to tell them, no, keep moving up, get out of the hole. You don't go in it. And so for a showman, I think not knowing the arena, not knowing where the spots are that are bad to avoid, that is probably a very, very bad issue. And then the other one is being late or missing your class. So those are the worst things I can think of at a show for a showman, crew member, fitter, parent, whatever. I think that probably not having a working microphone in the barn so they know you can hear them calling class 46 when you're class 52, etc. I think that is probably the worst thing that could happen to you if you're on that side of the support team, not knowing where they are at the show so you can get your kid's animal ready in a proper time and be up there at a proper time. That is probably the worst issue as that, because as long as you know what's going on up at the ring, then you can plan accordingly. That is why when I was doing this and I had all these kids showing, I had a parent designated to be at the ring at all times that would text back and forth, hey, they're on class 2 keys or they're on class 37 or whatever. It may not be the same parent all day, but there was a parent up at the ring watching the show that was texting me and the rest of the crew, this is where we are. Because a lot of times the microphone systems in barns suck. And so that is something that I think is probably the worst thing could have happened to a supporting team member. So those are the question and answers for this week. Again, this is a very, very short episode. I'm going to ask y'all again to pray for Chase, not Dale, because Dale did this to himself. Chase is just being sacrificed. Also, Holly, if you're listening, I've told you personally, but I'm going to tell you again, you should double Dale's life insurance right now because I don't think he's going to make it back. But with that being said, I hope y'all have a great week. I hope you enjoyed it. Send me lots of hate mail and y'all come back now. You hear?